Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and in this video I'm going to give you my January 2022 movie recommendations. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guy 365. Okay, in this video, I will be going over my January 2022 movie recommendations. If you're a follower of the channel, you know mostly I talk about 4K discs, focusing purely on picture and audio aspects. But just like you, during a given month, I just want to sit back and enjoy a film. And if I find something that I really enjoy, I just want to pass it along to you that you may check it out for yourself. There's lots here to talk about, both in physical media and, of course, streaming options. So let's not waste any time. Let's dive right in. So the first one I just recently watched maybe a few days ago, and I definitely wanted to include this as my recommendation, and that is Akira Kurosawa's Kagimusha. Now, this takes place in 1575 in Japan during wartime, and it's about a, just a ruler that, is kind of making an assault on an enemy, and then along the way, he discovers that he has a double, actually a couple doubles, but they really focus on one. And, as far as that goes, just think of the movie Dave. If you've ever seen that one, that comedy with Kevin Kline, it's basically Dave. Of course, Dave probably took inspiration from this one, but, and then of course the ruler dies and he wants to keep his legacy going, so the double has to stand in for him. And it's really kind of a fascinating tale. It's one of Kurosawa's, I would say, more ambitious films. And this being, of course, shot in color, it was made in I would say 1980 or so. This looks really good here. It gives you a great visual style. And of course, this was also produced by Francis Ford Coppola and George Lucas. I mean, this one has so many great moments throughout the film. It does run a little bit long, but if you want a good war epic with a lot of drama, I would highly recommend Kagimusha. This one is fantastic, and hopefully one day we'll get a 4K upgrade of this film. I'll staying with the Criterion Collection for a moment. This was another film, and this one stars Martin Sheen and Sissy Spacek, and that is Badlands. It's essentially based off the Charles Starkweather killings, and it's funny because when I was watching this one, of course, you hear the opening music and you immediately think of True Romance, where that theme was borrowed from this film. It's right there in the opening, but also several of the themes are, pretty much you can, cut and paste over on True Romance. But this is a good, this is Terrence Malick's, I believe, first film. And if you're familiar with Malick, you know he has a certain style, and he hasn't quite reached that with this film. Of course, he's still finding himself, but as a director, you could definitely see the potential. And Martin Sheen as just like this bad boy, type. You're not really used to seeing that too much when I watch his films. But of course, Sissy Spacek also plays a really good role in this. And it's a wonderful visual style. It's actually kind of like well done. I mean, you're very impressed with how Malick was able to just pull a lot of these shots off. It looks really good. And of course the story is very well done. It's a good crime drama, and it's just something to really kind of, wet your whistle on a good, road story / murder spree. It's not quite as graphic as that, but, this one is still cool, and I would highly recommend Badlands. Check that one out. This one was also it's one of those movies that you also associate with another film, the Kentucky Fried Movie. Whenever I think of this film, I always compare it to Amazon Women on the Moon, which these two are my favorites. Sketch comedy kind of movies. I feel Amazon Women on the Moon has some better bits in that one, but this one is fantastic. You have some of the creative talent that went on to do Airplane. And this is a cool film. I mean, it's got so many great bits. I'm still laughing at the horoscope bit. I think it was Aries or Libra or something. One of them. Whenever they mention it, it's like somebody gets shot with an arrow. It's fantastic. It's a funny bit. But there's also a longer in movie, and that one has so many great just commentary and satire to it. I like this one a lot, and Shout Factory did a great job. If you choose to pick this one up on disc, this one is wonderful. It's a lot of fun. Of course, you know, I would immediately pair this one with Amazon Women on the Moon, but yeah, check out the Kentucky Fried Movie. I highly recommend that one. This one I saw just recently on Hulu, and as soon as I watched it, I had to order the Blu Ray because this is one I wanted in my collection. This one stars Mads Mikkelsen, Writers of Justice. You know, judging from like the cover art and the description, you're not really going to go in expecting what you actually see. This is actually kind of a film that, you know, it has, I don't want to spoil anything for you, but it's kind of like the Butterfly Effect with a little bit of John Wick. I'll just leave it at that, but it's so well done. The supporting cast is fantastic. It's really kind of a dark comedy revenge tale, and this just has so many great moments. It's you know, violent. It does have some dark comedy, as I mentioned, and I really couldn't find a weak spot in the bunch. It has such a good just overall chemistry with the film, with the story, the cast. It's cool. I would highly recommend you check this out. If you don't want to, you know, take a chance on buying the disc, I believe it is still on Hulu. But yeah, Writers of Justice, check that one out if you get the chance. And this one I purchased over on Amazon. It was a complete blind buy. It was like $4. But the reason I went and sprung for this one is because I had friends recommend it, said it was really good. And Promising Young Woman, yes. If you've heard that this is good, I definitely echo that sentiment. It is fantastic. It has a great cast and a cool like soundtrack too. It's like you got that Paris Hilton song in your head, you know. It's like, no, this one is a lot going on. It's a pseudo revenge story, and our cast is really good in this. I think that it has such a good visual style. The story is awesome, and it's a pretty dark ending, but yeah, I can't speak highly enough of this one. It really caught me off guard, and I think I underpaid for this, to be honest with you. It was really that good. I'm happy to have this one in my collection. So yeah, check out Promising Young Woman. I would recommend this one highly to you. A few movies I caught over on the streaming platform. First up is from Apple TV. It's great that they're putting out such good content, but this one caught me off guard by how well done it was. It's a sci-fi film that really has its own identity, and I think it has such a good cast. And I'm talking about Swan Song. Mahershala Ali really, I feel, has such a great role. It's about a man who discovers he's dying, and there's technology out there that you're able to clone yourself and transfer your memories up to a certain point to this clone, and the clone would live out the rest of what would be your life. And he's married, he has a son and a new child on the way, so he doesn't tell his wife about his condition. But, you know, I think the premise is really good. It doesn't have any kind of dark twists or anything like that. I think it plays out exactly how it would in real life. And I think it was wise to kind of keep the science behind it just a little bit under the curtain. But I really enjoyed this one. It has a great aesthetic. And of course you have Glenn Close playing a very good role, and Naomi Harris plays his wife, and she does a wonderful job. I like this one a lot. I think Apple TV has a winner on their hands, and the movie, you know, it's very serious, but it does have a couple, you know, humorous moments. Awkwafina's in it, plays a small role, but I like Swan Song. I think I would highly recommend this one to you. So if you have Apple TV, check it out. Also over on Netflix, The Power of the Dog, starring Benedict Cumberbatch. This is a, you know, for me, I like a good, it's not quite a Western. It has like a Western leanings to it, but it's more of a quote-unquote modern day type of Western meets, you know, early, you know, 1900s type of vibe. It's Benedict Cumberbatch is such a great actor, and he plays a role as a ranch hand. Like, they have a successful cattle driving business, and you know, he also has a brother that, you know, they have kind of like a just kind of a tough relationship with him. And, you know, he has his own, you know, Benedict Cumberbatch has his own, like, problems and demons. And when his brother gets married to a woman who has a son, let's just say that it really has a fantastic kind of dynamic that happens there. And, you know, this is a good movie, but it does have some, you know, good moments, and it moves along at a very good pace. And of course, you really want to go for the acting, and I think the performances are fantastic on this one. So yeah, The Power of the Dog, I highly recommend you check that one out for yourself. Going back over to Apple TV for a moment, The Tragedy of Macbeth, directed by Joel Coen, starring Denzel Washington and Frances McDormand. Of course, we all know the Macbeth story, and I think while, you know, this is pretty much an abbreviated version of Shakespeare's play, this definitely has, I feel, strong enough elements and great visual style. It's filmed in black and white, and it's very much like a play on screen. It has some good, like, set pieces, which are fantastic, and of course the performances are awesome. Denzel, I love Denzel doing Shakespeare. I think I would absolutely like more of that, and I would have loved to have seen him when he was doing his Broadway run of Shakespeare earlier. But yeah, like, oh wow. I mean, yeah, The Tragedy of Macbeth, Joel Coen is fantastic. Of course, he's doing it by himself without his brother. But yeah, this one, if you're a fan of Shakespeare and especially of Macbeth, check this one out. It runs only about an hour and 40 minutes or so. It's not very long, and I think it tells a story. It has some great visuals. So yeah, check out The Tragedy of Macbeth. And finally, over on, I believe it was Amazon Prime, is Being the Ricardos, starring Nicole Kidman and Javier Bardem. So yeah, for me, like, when it comes to Lucy and Lucille Ball, I'm not so much a fan, but I love stories about old Hollywood, especially whether it's TV or movies. And for me, I was completely enthralled with what I was watching on screen. Nicole Kidman is fantastic as Lucy, and Javier Bardem is awesome, you know, as Desi. And there's a great story there. It has, you know, it takes over, you know, basically a week of a show taping. And there's, you know, some stuff that happened in Lucille's life that was coming to light publicly. And of course, they're, you know, they're focusing on their marriage and their dynamic with the show. And, you know, of course, you know, creative liberties were taken, and of course you're gonna, you know, check that stuff out after you watch the film, you know, the things that happened or didn't happen in this timeline. But if you just, you know, strip all that away and you're going in for a good drama, especially if you're talking about old Hollywood stuff, it really, I think, you know, with Aaron Sorkin, of course, being behind the scenes with this one, it's cool. I think it's got a great script, and the performances are great. J.K. Simmons, wow. I love it when he played the character of Fred, you know, on the show. He's awesome. But yeah, Being the Ricardos, I would highly recommend you check that one out. So that is everything I'm going to recommend to you for movies for January 2022. Now it's your turn. Let me know what you think I should check out in a future video. And if any of these are interesting to you and you want to check it out on Blu-ray, I will go ahead and leave an Amazon link in the comments section below. If you use it, it really helps out the channel. But in the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.